Hello and welcome back to the Personal Transformation Experience with David and Maureen Brand. Today we're going to talk about...
fitness, well-being in your older years.
Older years can have a lot of different meanings, but...
50, 60.
Kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
Yes, we're in our 50s.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And this show is really geared for people, although it's not exclusive, but
Right.
I think it's probably most helpful to people who are in their 50s, have kids, and just trying to become better versions of ourselves.
Okay,
But,
full disclosure, I'll be 60 soon.
yes,
Like this month.
that is soon.
That is very soon.
Yeah. Well, I knew
So,
that because
Yeah.
if I didn't know that, I'd be in trouble.
Yes, you wouldn't be.
So what are you going to tell us about the secrets of staying youthful looking?
Yeah, no, I think...
I think you look like you're 30. So
Yeah, I mean,
what's your secret?
Well, it's genetics, first of all.
Okay.
No, I mean, I do work hard at staying healthy and keeping my skin healthy.
You do.
But
you do. I told my sister a couple weeks ago that you work out so hard, sometimes the house shakes.
it's true. I do. I bounce. I jump. I do all the things. But let me just say first, I have to give some props to the genetic code because I have great genes. Like my mom is beautiful. She's always had great skin, and she's the age that she is, and she looks great. I have two sisters, an older one and a younger one. My older sister, she's older than me, obviously, right? I just said that. But she has that Mediterranean sort of olive tone. She's beautiful. I have two beautiful sisters, beautiful skin. So, and I'm sure they don't do the things I do. I think my older sister still works out a lot, but we're blessed with good skin. And I don't know if my older sister really was a big sun person either, but she has beautiful skin.
That helps. You do stay out of the sun, and when you're in the sun, I do know that you wear a hat and you wear plenty of sunscreen.
It's not always that way. When I was in my 20s, right. I've had my share of burns. My younger sister does like her sun. You can see the freckles on her skin now, but she still looks amazing. Yeah. We just, yeah.
All right.
So it is it, but
so
that
step
aside,
one, watch the sun exposure.
Yeah,
right?
watch the sun. But that aside, the people. First, I want to say the people that most influenced my life. That when I was sitting down thinking about what I wanted to say with this show, and there are a lot of people that I've been influenced by, that I've gotten a lot of great information from. Number one, Andrew Huberman, hands down, best wellness podcaster, science-based.
Props to Andrew.
Love him. The Power of the Sun, our circadian rhythm and its effect on sleep. That's, I think, probably his most famous thing that he's, among many other things, that's the one thing that he kind of drilled into everybody's mind. And it helps me too. So Yoga Nidra, I love Yoga Nidra. It's calming. If you don't get enough sleep, close your eyes, do Yoga Nidra, look it up on you can find it anywhere, just Google it. And all the incredible experts that he brought onto his podcast and that he's kind of brought out to the forefront of the industry. And, and this includes mental health. So, and motivational experts. So one of my favorites, Dr. Marc Bracket, gave everybody permission to feel. Love him. Looked at a lot of his stuff. I listened to a lot of his podcasts still, and his insights helped me to change the way I think and feel about my own emotional intelligence, the way I parent, the way I am in a relationship, and the way I am in my work. So emotional well-being and your mental health is as critical.
It's all connected.
As your physical health, because really, if your mental health is messed up, your physical health is not going to be good.
Right.
So there's a definite connection. Esther Perel, who doesn't love this relationship expert? I believe she takes down the boundaries of conventional relationships. And she points out that anyone you relate to, anyone, if you want someone to change the way they respond to you, you need to change the way they respond, the way you respond to them. So I love this idea, and it resonates with me because it makes you accountable. It takes the blame game out. You can't say, well, this is your fault. No. You have to be responsible for your response to people. When you change the way you respond to your friends, your colleagues, your husband, your wife, anybody, they will change the way they respond to you. Period. That's a truth. So that's one of the most impactful truths I've ever heard. And So Peter Attia, love him. I got his book when it first came out, Longevity. I think.
Yeah, he talks about health span. That's the key thing
Health
I
span.
remember. It's not about how long you live, but how healthy you are for how long.
Yeah. So even if your health span at the end of your life. Right. So however many decades I have left, I want them to be healthy decades. I want to be that 90-year-old lifting weights, hiking up mountains, and
me too.
Doing what I
get
did.
My back under control. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because and of course your mind. You want to keep your mind sharp. Exercise does that, and then mixing it up, doing things, learning things that are challenging. Like that's one of the reasons why I want to learn to play the drums, because it crosses over the left and right brain, corpus callosum, all that stuff. I won't get into the science stuff because I got some great feedback.
Was I supposed to get you drums for your big birthday?
Yes, I'm supposed to have drums. Where's my drums?
They weren't on the list.
Okay, well, I told you I wanted them. Talk about rocking the house. Anyway, that's okay. I want my workout equipment first because that's my priority. Don Saladino, hands down, best fitness trainer out there. I love him. So I got introduced to him through a blog or newsletter by Gabrielle Lyons. He gave away a free challenge month, the month of December. And I had already been working out and working on trying to lose weight. And for 30 days, I did one of his challenges. And I saw the greatest difference, the most remarkable difference I've ever seen in my body in 30 days. And I didn't lose a lot of weight. I lost maybe 2 or 3 pounds. But the change in the composition, I was more muscular. My frame was more muscular. I was stronger. And everything kind of tightened up. So at my age, that's huge. Right?
Yeah. And working out doesn't necessarily equate to weight loss, but
no.
It's a transition of fat to muscle.
Right. And I will say, what I think the key ingredient was that I stopped doing all the cardio. Cardio will not help you lose weight. I know, I love it. And it was my escape for many, many years. I ran, I swam, I did all the things for my head. But I got a pretty good cardio workout with the weights. And I realized, I recognized something about myself I didn't know before, as how much I enjoyed the heavy weights. So all that weight-bearing exercise calmed my central nervous system, because apparently I have this sensory input need that I didn't recognize before. So when I started switching to heavy weights, not just like 5, 8 pounds, I mean, I started lifting heavy as I could safely, obviously, without injuring myself. And it made a huge difference. So I saw the biggest changes in my body with weightlifting, and I feel the best I've ever felt in my entire life. And that's a lot, because I've always worked out since I was, oh my gosh. I mean, as an adolescent, I used to run. I always played sports. I always worked out. I was a fitness instructor for 2 decades in my 20s and 30s. And I've never felt better than I feel right now. And I think the reason is because my head is in line with the rest of my body. So in my 20s and 30s, I didn't have this sync of my mind and my body. I wasn't where I wanted to be in my head, but I used my body as a means to deal with my emotional upset. So I would run, swim, work out, whatever I did it to relieve anxiety, to escape my emotional pain. But now I'm doing it because it feels good, and I just want to be stronger and feel healthier. But I am in the best place I've ever been in my life. Yeah. At this age, it's such a blessing, because I feel like I'm exactly where I want to be in both my body and my mind. I feel like I am exactly where I should be. So, and I'm the happiest, most content I've ever been. I mean, of course, my life's not perfect, right? And there are a lot of things I strive to gain or do better, and I'm not perfect, but I just feel like, I don't know, all the things, all the information and all the wisdom I've gained to this point has put me in this place, and I couldn't be happier. And I think it is truly a blessing, because I learned a long time ago in a very harsh way that not everybody gets to grow old. So it is truly a blessing. And the minute I feel like, 'cause, a lot of, like, I hear complaints like, getting old sucks. I don't think so. I can't say that it sucks. I mean, I heard Cher famously say that on a talk show.
My
How do you
grandmother used to say that all the time.
Yeah.
It's hell getting old, she would say. And
Yeah.
when I think about it now, she was 53 when I was born. And she was saying that in her mid to late 50s, right? Which
Yeah.
we're there now. So it's just remarkable to me when I think about what I thought old was when I was younger and where we're at today.
Yeah, I never looked at age as something that's sucky. I looked at it as I can get through this. I've always pushed myself through things. And I think that's one of like a little superpower I have, because any challenge I've had, even going into menopause and going through that decade of menopause between 50 and 60, it was absolutely challenging, but I rose to that challenge every day. Were there days that I just like, I didn't want to get out of bed? Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of them. My brain was foggy. You know, I had a teenager in high school. I mean, 2 teenagers in high school. It was really hard. But I always fell back on exercise.
Yeah.
And a good nutrition plan.
I think that we were introduced to exercise at an early age. I know for me, I was 12, maybe 11, when my mother's very brief second marriage had occurred. And my stepfather introduced me to running. And I remember how remarkable it was, because he was in maybe he was late 30s, I think, at that point. And he was probably running maybe 1.5 miles a day. And it was me, weeks into the run, that started challenging him to run further and further every day.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was 14 and 15, I was running track and cross country at school and was running 8 miles a day to practice. But I don't know that I would have ever gotten into running if it weren't for being introduced to it by my stepfather. But likewise, I think your father,
my dad,
introduced you to running around that age too, right?
Well, I was an adolescent. So, yeah, I mean, I was young. I was probably 9, 10, 11.
Maybe a little younger than me.
Yeah,
so.
when we started running on Sundays at Mohansick Park in New York. Yeah, I mean, we would run in the snow. We ran in the rain.
Us too. I mean, because I would run before school and before he went to his job in the morning. We were getting out there like 5:30, 6 in the morning to run.
Yeah, running like that, I think, was when I first realized how good it made my head feel. Like, took away the anxiety and all the stuff that was going on in my brain. It was like an escape. Yeah. Like, all I could do, because you're in your body, right? So all you can do is focus on your body. I mean, your mind will wander, but you're in your body still, because I could hear I would focus on my breath and how, every step feels and how strong I feel. So it was pretty cool. And then I just and you were running with your daughter when she was little on the beach, and you ran when I met you.
Yeah. I mean, until I started having severe back issues about 5 years ago, I was running pretty consistently. That's right up until my mid-40s. And I don't want to give everybody the idea that it's been a straight line for us and we've always been in this great shape and working out and all those things.
Oh, God, no. Yeah.
I went through this very destructive period a little bit in my late teen years and then again in my early 20s, where I was drinking excessively. I was doing different types of recreational drugs. There were times probably I was doing drugs and drinking and running as well. But, I would
I
say...
think I did that too.
I think it's been a gradual process. And as I got into my, having met you in my mid-40s and then beyond, as we've shared in this podcast, I've given up drinking now, for many different reasons. Don't do any type of drugs at all and haven't for many years. So... that kind of walking away from that is also, like, to you, has helped clear my mind. Right now I'm dealing with severe lower spine lumbar issues, and at least I'm trying to push through and do core exercise every day.
Yeah.
But kudos to you, because you're doing all that you can do. The important thing is, I find, keep moving, right? Don't give in to pain. I think about the example of my mother. She broke her hip when she was 62. I think I want to say she was 63 when she had the hip surgery. Yeah. And then she was never the same after that. She had to take an early retirement. And, all I remember about the last 10 years of my life is her laying on a couch, watching TV, and, she was living on pain meds until she died.
Yeah.
And that image is like burned into my mind, that I can't allow that to happen, no matter how bad my lower back is, whatever the situation is, I'm going to keep pushing through it. But I find that you do that too. Like you wake up sometimes with headaches and or you just don't feel your best, but you do push through it and push yourself to work out. And when you're in your 50s, it is not easy, right? To just wake up and say, I'm going to do a 2-hour workout. So how do you find the fortitude to do that though?
Well, I don't do 2 hours. I can't
Whatever it is.
Yeah, but
how do you get the mindset to be able to attack that as much as you do?
I feel worse if I don't do it. Like I don't, it's non-negotiable for me. It's like, brushing your teeth and taking a shower. I can't not do it. For me, the two things that are not negotiable are working out and meditation. So I do it because I know I'll feel better, and I feel better when I am doing it. And my body needs the pressure of the weights now, so much so that if I don't do it, I feel like I can't function. Like I can't function with a clear head if I don't exercise. I mean, I went, listen, that's not to say I had that whole year, the year that in December of 2023, I had shoulder surgery. I had torn my rotator cuff. I went like 2 years with the pain. Finally, I got the surgery, which sucked, by the way. It was the worst surgery. But it worked. It just was very painful. And then 3 months in, after, of recovery, I got COVID. And so whatever happened that year from 23 to 24, I was sick the entire year of 2024 up until like August of 2024. And I didn't exercise. I gained a ton of weight, like ridiculous amount of weight, because I couldn't do anything.
Right.
And I was a little depressed. My shoulder hurt and I was eating. And that was just like, it was awful. I didn't feel good. I mean, I did try to exercise here and there, but I was sick every month because my immune system had been so shot that I was catching everything. So it was like sinus infection, virus, whatever it was.
How did you find what when you finally were starting to feel better, what motivated you to resume your practice of exercise, meditation, eating healthy?
Well, I discovered that I had ADHD. So we talked about this before.
Yeah.
And getting, because I was working in between all that, and I was, I was supporting a family in the education world, as working with them to get this child services. And I had IEP meetings, and so I remember feeling like, what is wrong with me that I can't think through these? Yeah. So long story short, I ended up getting diagnosed with ADHD and taking meds, and they were a game changer because it kind of refocused me. And I was able to, I said, and also I was like, I feel like awful. The thing that's always made me feel better my whole life since I was a little girl were exercise. So I just started doing that, and I found the Fit On app. And I was using that. It was like 20, 30 minutes. It's all I needed. And it was enough.
So start small.
You start small. Take baby steps. I mean, some of the workouts are 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I did 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. Most of the time it was just 20 minutes, and then I would stretch and do my meditation. And I did that from August through December when I did Don Saladino's challenge. And then after I did that challenge, that was a game changer for me, because I realized what a difference weight training makes. All the cardio in the world, you're not going to really lose that much weight doing cardio. I mean, you need cardio fitness for your heart health, and you should get it. Like I'll do HIIT once a week, and I walk up steep hills, or I'll do like a fitness walk where I get my cardio up. But yeah, I mean, the weight training, you get your cardio. What you do, it is cardio. When you have to do 25 plank walkouts 4 times. You're fucking breathing hard. That's hard.
Yeah, no,
it's really hard.
You're inspiring to me watching you. And of course, I can't do some of that right now with the way my back is. But.
Yeah, I mean, they're hard. I have people, I have a good friend, I went to work out with her, and, I didn't realize, to me, I'm like, anybody can do a plank walk. No, that's not true. Yeah. Not anybody can do it, and so I was like, okay, let me give you stuff that you can do, because she's struggling, right? She's a little younger. She's much younger than me, 10 years, but she's just going through what I was going through 10 years ago. So I gave her, I expressed, weighted workouts are going to be your best friend.
Yeah.
I know you love the cardio, but The weights are going to be your best friend, because the more muscle you have, the more metabolic your body's going to be. Your muscle will metabolize quicker and longer for longer periods of time. And you're not building muscle when you're running. So the weights are going to make a huge difference for older women. And speaking of other influences, Dr. Mary Claire Haver and Dr. Stacy Sims. So Mary Claire Haver is the guru. She is your menopause warrior, go-to woman. She wrote 2 books. One was first like a diet book, which I bought. I loved it. Gave me some great ideas and great recipes, and changed the way I looked at fiber. So the 2 things I do now is I really focus on getting the protein that I want, that I need. Yep. So you want to have for every gram. So whatever your ideal weight is, you want to have that amount of grams in protein, right? So I want to be, I'll have 140 to 145 grams of protein every day. That
you're also tracking it pretty closely.
I track it closely, and I kind of know, even if I don't track it, I know how much protein. So if you track all 3 macros are important: protein, fat, carbs. But I'm not too worried about the carbs because I don't really eat a lot of bad fat. I'll have cheese here and there, but I'm not a fried person. So I track my protein, I track my fiber. And if you have those 2 things, if you have enough protein and enough fiber, you'll feel sated and you won't feel hungry, because the protein the fiber fills you up, and the protein allows you to feel sated. You really won't be hungry, and you shouldn't be craving. Well, I shouldn't say you shouldn't. It depends on where you are in life.
Don't shit on yourself.
Yeah, you don't want to shit on yourself. But listen, you're going to crave whatever, but usually the fiber kind of halts that a little bit.
Yeah.
And Dr. Stacy Sims, women are not men, obviously, but I went my whole life treating myself like a man, thinking, because most research is done based on males.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
There's a biologic difference, yeah.
If you look her up, she's got some great resources. She's amazing with what she does. Gabrielle Lyons too. But I Stacy Sims, I gleaned a lot of great information from.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So what else did I want to say? Yeah. So the things I do every day. So the first thing in the morning is I drink water. Before you put anything else in your body, you want to put water in it.
With lemon?
No. My good friend told me I should do lemon. If you want to detox. I don't know. I haven't done that yet. Like warm water with lemon. I just drink water. I drink a ton of water, and then I come down and I have a latte though, a protein coffee latte, I call it.
Yep.
I made this up myself. I put, I made it up. A lot of people use collagen protein in their coffee. So I use that. I use a little bit of whey, and that's when I add my creatine. Creatine is critical for women, especially because it will help build muscle. It's also really good for your brain, like to keep it healthy. So 5 grams of creatine, a little bit of whey protein, and the collagen protein makes a delicious latte with a little creamer. And I have the calories and the protein to work out. Because I don't like to eat in the morning. I'm not hungry. So I have no desire to eat. And I would struggle with what I was going to have before I worked out that wasn't going to make me feel sick and give me the energy. So that was it. And then by 11 o'clock, I can have, a nice meal, like a late, brunch type of whatever with all the nutrients. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of my key. I suffer from migraines, and they typically attack in the morning, which is why I started taking this lovely stuff. It's MitoPure, Urolithium A. Gabrielle Lyons, she was on Andrew Huberman's podcast, and she talked about Urolithium A in the form of Timeline, which is another supplement. It's a little pricey. This is not as pricey. And this is by Pure Encapsulations. It's called Renewal. And it has the MitoPure Urolithium A, 250 milligrams. I take 4 capsules. I was taking 2. It wasn't enough.
At once?
No, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. And it has really made a difference in the muscle that I'm putting on and the headaches. I don't know what it's doing, but my headaches, I get like maybe 1 a week, if that. And it's much less. Like I didn't get one all week. So I did have one this morning, but like they really do go away with that. And I have to tell my friend about this because she
Definitely.
gets them too.
Yeah.
So you track your food.
Yeah.
You have to track. I use Chronometer, or Carbon is the newest one I just got. I switched off from Chronometer to Carbon because Don Saladino has this new app.
It's kind of an accountability measure, right? To know what you're putting in. Yeah.
Yeah. And well, that's when I know, like right now, I haven't really lost any weight since probably February. But that's okay because I'm still working out every day and I haven't really been like tight. I have to tighten up my nutrition, and probably walk more. I'm not walking as much. So when the winter months kick in and it's really cold and it's dark so early,
we have a treadmill, but
we have a treadmill, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm just tired by the end of the day. Kind of, I don't know. I get winterized.
Yeah, well, I think that's a natural rhythm of humans. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't. Once it's dark, like I'm cold and I don't want to go out. Like my daughter will push me to go out. She's like, let's walk. And a couple of times I went out with her and I did feel better. But I think the key is if you're going to work out, you obviously work out at least 4 or 5 days a week. I mean, 3 minimum if you're going to weight train. 3 minimum in weight training. I do 5. And then I walk. I do one day a week. I do cardio, like a HIIT training.
Are you going to be able to have this all outlined for our viewers?
I can do that.
The notes? Okay.
Yeah, it's in right here.
Okay.
I wrote it out.
Got it.
But yeah, I think that's really, and you could do like 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. I do that a lot, especially if I have a headache, like, or just tired. Like these last 2 days I've been really tired. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the time change. I feel a little fatigued. We had a couple late nights.
Yeah.
So that'll do it. And just listen to your body. I strive to work out 5 days a week, and typically I will. But there are some weeks that I don't.
Yeah, this is not about guilt or
it's
shaming
progress,
yourself over
not perfection.
it. I should have worked out. No, that doesn't help.
Yeah, and one of the things, it's so interesting because when I did the December challenge, I was anxious about December because I always gain weight in December. I mean, the holidays,
Food,
you cook, we like to bake.
Right.
And one of the things that Don talks about, because when you do a challenge, he does a Zoom meeting every week with the challengers. And he said, don't worry about what enjoy your holidays, eat what you want here. And don't, a lot of people recommend that if you're going to have a holiday meal, you're going to go out to dinner, prep for it. Like don't eat as much or watch no. He said, eat. I want you to get all your protein, all your macros in, make sure you're well sated. And when you sit down to that meal, guess what? You won't eat as much. And he was 100% right. I actually lost 3 pounds in the month of December. And I ate my pie. I had my pie and ate it too, right? I did. I had my pie and ate it too. I had like a delicious dinner for, Christmas Eve. We had like, what do we have? Raviolis and meatballs. I mean.
Yeah, we ate well.
We ate well.
Yeah,
and we baked our cookies and I ate. And I still lost weight. So I attribute that to switching out to weights, pulling back on the cardio a bit, and really just not stressing it. Don't stress it because let yourself, if you feel deprived, you're going to want to eat more. Just enjoy life. Like right now, I'm like, okay, I'm at the weight I am. I'm more than halfway there. Right. So I'm where I am. And I'm sure by June, my goal was.
How do you feel? Right.
I feel amazing. Well, that's
like
the thing.
Else, right?
Yeah.
How does food make you feel? How do you feel in general? I mean, that's really critical and important.
Yeah.
And I know you talked about meditation before, and I've heard people tell me, "Hey, I can't meditate." And one of the things I've learned there is, some days I try to meditate and I can only meditate for 5-10 minutes, and I just can't do it longer than that. And some days I easily meditate for half an hour and don't even realize it. And next thing I know, it's half hour later. So
yeah,
it's like that with everything else. Exercise. Just go with it, right? I mean, don't say I have to meditate for 30 minutes. I have to work out for 60 minutes.
No, because
those things really, when you put that kind of pressure on yourself, you lead to be like, you know what, I just can't do it. And then people just don't do anything, right? So that's what happens. You have to try, do something, give it your best effort. I mean, there's nothing wrong with making a commitment. I have a guy who works for me, super strong-willed, and has made a commitment to lose a certain amount of weight and work out every day and get up at a certain time. And that's good, right? But if there's a day where something hurts, you don't feel good and you can't get up at 5 o'clock, you don't want to beat yourself up.
No, do what you have to do. Do what you can do. I mean, it's good to have an accountability buddy.
That's
I know
true too.
some people like that. I've never really needed that. I'm my own accountability buddy.
No, if that works.
But I mean, I know a lot of people like to have somebody that they work out with or do a plan with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really need that. That's never really worked for me. I've always been able to do it kind of independently, but I was the instructor, right? So I was the one. So in my mind, I know what I need to do. And I like helping other people. Like I have a friend, who's trying to get back in shape, and I've helped her. I'll send her videos. I made a couple of videos for her. I'm going to send her over. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing that. But it's fun. Like again, progress, not perfection.
That's right.
You just want to do what you can do. Listen to your body.
All right. Is that all you had? I see you put the notes down. So
that's it. Yeah, I kind of got through everything.
Okay.
I try to do it fast.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So we'll put some of this in the show notes too. Really, again, this is just about maintaining mental health, physical health, perhaps spiritual health, and your dietary health, all those things well into your 50s, heading into 60, and also while at the same time not being too hard on yourself.
Yeah, it's really all in it's the mindset. It's an attitude towards, what your life is like.
Yeah.
I think take the attitude of gratitude.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, we'll close on that note. Thank you for watching and have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Okay, thanks.